I turned 18 and turned my draft card in 2 weeks prior to 9/11/2001. After the towers fell, I distinctly remember conversations with my high school senior friends about enlisting in the military to protect the country. All the while, being gay and in the closet and with don't ask, don't tell in place, enlisting was not a viable option for me. When my grandmother died in 2009, I moved in with my 86-year-old grandfather to look after him and keep him company. He retired with 39 and a half years of service in the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force, serving as a first sergeant and commanding a barracks when Truman integrated African Americans into the military in 1950, and serving as the head of the military police unit at Central High School in 1957 when they integrated, protecting the Little Rock Nine throughout the year. When I moved in, I was not out to him, and ironically, it was at this time that I started getting involved with the LGBT community. I would leave, put on my legalized gay shirt, and march down the street for equality, and then when I got back, would have the thing off before I went in the house. Over the course of time there, I became the president of the LGBT Center's board and fought tirelessly for the community, all the while not being out to my grandfather. 2 years ago, love pushed me out of the closet. I woke up one morning, went to Slackers, bought a copy of Milk because my old one had been borrowed, went home, mustered up the courage, and came out to him. We watched Milk, talked for hours, and turns out that at 89, an old country boy from the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, turned war hero and civil rights leader, can change their views again. He supported me, supported my partner, and still remained my biggest cheerleader in my goals to make a difference. Thus, I am humbled to introduce my grandfather and hero, Lieutenant Colonel Jack C. Levitt.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a great honor for me to be here and to participate in this diversity event. And laying the wreath was particularly meaningful to me as we honor all of the many men and women who died for the freedom, safety, and equal treatment for all of us. Not just the white heterosexuals. The country has come a long ways. A few years ago, a repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and just the past week with the repeal of DOMA. I always thought I was a strong civil rights advocate, but I, like many other Americans, only thought in a narrow view that it was confined to integration of the races and regarding educational opportunities. I served in the military when it was still segregated. The combat and support units were either all black or all white. In the early 1950s, President Harry Truman issued an executive order for them to be fully integrated. There were those that opposed it, but it was accomplished without too much disruption. In 1957, I commanded the military police company of the Arkansas National Guard. President Eisenhower, in enforcing the Supreme Court decision, called on the 101st Airborne Division and my unit to integrate Little Rock Central High. This was over strong objections of the governor and the White Citizens Council. Throughout the year, my unit guarded the Little Rock Nine and kept the peace while they bravely changed the course of history. With these experiences, I have learned that matters dealing with social justice, equal rights, voting rights, human rights, and the like never come easily. The LGBT community knows that well and are dealing with it effectively. You're waking up those of us who have never thought much about the rights of the gays, the lesbians, the bisexuals, and transgressors. When my grandson, Colin, came out of the closet with me, I was shocked and amazed. He was always to me the All-American boy. He played Little League baseball, became an Eagle Scout, earned the black belt karate. He's exceedingly smart and a really nice guy. Because my generation had less exposure to the LGBT community, it was a surprise to find out that Colin was gay. I know that was difficult for him because of the way I generally was. Colin has taught me a lot. He's taught me about the courage that it takes to stand up for what's right. We stand here today in honor of the fallen soldiers who served their country in silence, hiding who they were because the service to the country outweighed their own individuality. Please join me in a moment of silence to reflect and remember those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. A moment, please. Thank you. It's important for you to come out. It's important for you to educate those who don't know about people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. When my grandson came out to me, a 90-and-a-half-year-old country boy from Pino, Oklahoma, became his greatest ally. And what fear he once had in not being able to tell me is now repaid in pride this weekend. I congratulate all of you on your accomplishments thus far and urge you to keep fighting for what is right and just. And now I would like to introduce Master Sergeant Steve Zagger. Steve.
Thank you. Gosh, that was such a great speech. It was moving me the whole time in my chair. Today, this is for the, like Colonel Lovett said, all the men and women who died for this country in silence. Today you are recognized, therefore you are free. History is being made today. Take a look around at where you are for Pride this year. Yes, at a wreath-laying ceremony at the Soldiers Memorial to honor the LGBT service members who fought and paid the ultimate price for this country. We are making history today, folks. This is the first time ever that this is happening, and it's about time, I might add. Throughout the history of this great country, different segments of the population had to rally and fight and protest to be treated fairly and recognized by the government. Whether it was child labor, a woman's right to vote, blacks being treated fairly and equal, or now the gays and lesbians being recognized and being treated fairly to have the right to marry and be equal to their heterosexual counterparts, with all the benefits that come along with being married. With DOMA and Prop 8 falling, we are now legal in the eyes of the law. As a retired Master Sergeant from the Air Force and a gay man, I can tell you the feeling I have is breathtaking. To be able to stand before you, dedicate a wreath to the fallen LGBT members, and to speak openly about who I am is nothing short of remarkable. This ceremony today is not just for the military alive and dead, but for all my brothers and sisters who make up the LGBT community. You have the right now to truly be all you want to be in the military, if you choose to. I'm honored to have Lieutenant Colonel Jack Lovett, retired Air Force, in the ceremony today to help dedicate this wreath with me. He is a World War II veteran serving 39 years. In his years, he has seen many changes. This change to the LGBT community has special meaning for him because of his grandson, Colin. Colin Lovett is the president of the LGBT Center of St. Louis. I couldn't think of a better person to dedicate this wreath today to the fallen with me than a fellow brother in arms. Today we honor all the men and women who served this country and died doing so, quietly, afraid to tell their brothers and sisters in arms who they were, and not truly having that feeling of being an equal warrior because of their sexuality. Even though they fought and died next to one another, I find it odd for anyone to think we can give our lives for this country and not be considered equal. We fight and fought for the rights for everyone to be free, not just certain segments of the population. We are Americans. We are all free. If that doesn't resonate in you, I have a copy of the Constitution I'd be happy to share with you so you can read up on it. To all the veterans, including the LGBT members who paid the ultimate price, and whose names are etched on these walls in tribute, we salute you. I am your voice today. Thank you for your service in defending the rights of Americans to be free, and for all peoples around the world who you fought for so they could win their independence too. Today you're recognized, therefore you are free. Thank you for your service. This is for you. That concludes our